Alright, hey guys, welcome to part 2. If you haven't watched the first one, please go and have a look, listen to it. So this is the part 2 of my experience moving from Australia to Canada, and let's begin. So in this video, I want to talk about, so the first video, the part 1, I mentioned quite a few background histories and so on and so forth, and some of the prerequisites, some of the requirements that we had to fulfill before we actually travel. In this video, I want to talk about the actual journey, which is it's not anything interesting, but anyway, it's just gonna be a casual storytelling, scenario in here. So the journey was so I booked the flight earlier. So we moved in September, obviously September, and towards the end of September, I think I booked my ticket in June. And I was so lucky and fortunate to actually get the ticket in a very reasonable price. Flight was with United Airlines. Even though my flight actually got cancelled once automatically, I don't know why that happened. My flight schedule was from Sydney to San Francisco to Toronto, and then it got cancelled. I had to rebook it again. I was lucky enough to actually, see the email right away, and I called them. One thing is very good about United Airlines is that the service, the customer service, I didn't actually pay anything extra, and it was all done over the phone. So I rebooked the flight on the same day, on a different time, slightly different time, and I knew that in-flight experience might not be one of the best of the best, right, or one of the premium experience, obviously, because if you compare with Emirates, Etihad, Qatar Airlines, that I have the experience, it's not gonna be the same, because obviously I'm shaving a lot of expenses because the ticket price is pretty low. And one of the best part of this flight was that it's very short, so it's 21 hours. I know it's still long, but if I would compare with what happened? If I compare with the flight schedule of Emirates and Qatar, I think, or Etihad, I don't remember, one of them, it's 40 hours, literally. From Sydney to Toronto, it's 40 hours. For us, the flight was very good because, I have young kids. It's always good to, cut it as short as you can. So obviously, we're pretty early in the morning flight. We went to the airport. Luckily, I made sure you guys also, if you guys are listening to this, watching this video, make sure you have all the documents printed out. The best is printed everything out, put it into a sleeve or folder, and bring it with you, right? And just make it all handy. So what I've done is, I went to the airport, went to the the counter, literally, and I gave the whole folder with the passports and all the COVID test and the double vax, the vaccine certification, the ESTA. What is ESTA? ESTA. Type it on Google, and you'll find it. I've also explained in my previous video. All of those documents, our PR documents and stuff like that, all in one folder. The flight was pretty long. The first leg of it, at least, it was 14 hours from Sydney to Los Angeles. Experience-wise, I mean, what else you can expect, right? I would probably give them, it's a mid-range. It's a mid-range budget flight, so that's it. That's all you gotta do. If you wanna fly quickly and also economically. So anyway, so that's fine. And then we landed in Los Angeles. The experience was insane because I've never been to LA before, LA airport especially. I don't know why. Is it there just a routine checkup, or is it because of my my attributes, right? I had to go through some sort of interrogation and questions and things like that. Even though I'm not going to the US at all, I have no business there, nothing. I'm going to Canada, but they wanted to ask me a bunch of questions and why am I going there and where I will be living and things like that. Anyway, so experience was horrible. The experience in Los Angeles airport was absolutely horrible. I've never seen a chaotic, a crazy airport ever before. Literally, I have been to many places, many airports, that airport was crazy. But anyway, if you guys want to know my experience, I'm more than happy to share in one of the videos. But that's not the main point in this video. So anyway, and then obviously our flight was, I think, 4.5 hours from LA to Toronto. Landed. The experience in Toronto airport was absolutely fantastic, literally fantastic. 20 minutes and we all done. We went, scanned our passports, went to the immigration officer. We said, and the scanning machine gave us a slip, a little piece of paper, gave that to immigration officer. We said we have COPR. He sent us to the border protection, the border patrol, border protection, I don't know what they call, CBSA most probably. So we showed the slip, the scan machine slip to him, and we told them that we have COPR. He sent us to the immigration department, which is literally just behind, and we went to the immigration officer. We gave all our passports. He said we have COPR, gave the documents, and he asked us to wait for probably 7-8 minutes. Called us, congratulations, you guys have PR. Here's the passport. We signed the COPR documents, gave us a 1 page, and we gave one address, one of my friend's address, and and he said the PR card will just be there probably in a month or so, and then you guys are good to go. And we just went out, literally 20 minutes max, probably 25 minutes. We out, booked the Airbnb prior to travel. Went there, we lived in Mississauga, and then that's the whole experience. So moral of the story, why am I making this video? It's just a pretty basic travel video, and it's no video or anything, any footage. So I just wanna, point this out, that just make sure you have all the documents. Make sure you check every single thing, because it's not like before that if you're from a visa exempt country, you just have your passport and you book the plane ticket and you just go fly. Because of the COVID, you need a lot of different things, different documentation on the vaccinations, on the COVID test result has to be 72 hours. So you need to make sure the calculation is right. You need to make sure that your where you're going, you have the proper documentation. If you Airbnb or hotel, you have the address. Like, the immigration officer asked us, okay, you have to give us a permanent address of somebody where we can send the PR card. Now, if I didn't know this, then I would be literally in a awkward situation. I don't have any address. That person would be saying, okay, if you don't have any address, then what am I supposed to send you the PR card? You just cannot say things like, oh, I don't have any address, I'm just new in here. You need to know all of these things. So that's the whole, main important point I want to make sure that I tell you guys. Make sure you check all of the requirements. What are the things you need? If you don't know, ask them the question. Give them a call before you make the travel. You make sure you have all the documentations, right? Because the last thing you would probably want is, because of one little thing, one little piece of documents, you're in a bad shape, right? You don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. So just make sure that you have all the documentation ready, and just make sure that you are on top of the game. You know as much as you need to know, okay? You are ready and you're well prepared, okay? Even if you don't need some of the documents, make sure you have those documents, right? Like, birth certificates and things like that. So that's all. That's the message I want to give to you guys. And that's the end of this video, and then I will see you guys in part 3, where I will be probably explaining some of the things, and that will be probably interesting, so stay with me. I would like to probably give you guys a little bit of insight on the differences that I'm seeing so far in the 2 years gap that I have. So I left Canada 2019, came back in 2021. In these 2 years, there's so many changes, so many changes, so many things are different, right? So that is not good or bad. Anyway, I'm going to be explaining those to you guys probably in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.